Welcome to the Mike and JD Show YouTube channel. Thank you for being here. I want you to do me a big favor before you check out this clip. I want you to hit the like button. I want you to throw in a comment and make sure you're a subscriber to this channel. And then I want you to share this video with your friends. Help us defeat the algorithm. And then if you like this content and you appreciate this content, please head over to patreon.com/the Mike and JD Show and support the show. That is how we actually get funded to be able to do this. So we thank you very much for being here. And now enjoy the clip.
Competition starting to get thick, it's the click, so I hope you watch your A game. A made no rain from the track when we unite and spit. This isn't A game, better bring your A game. Competition starting to get thick, it's the click, so I hope you watch your A game. A made no rain from the
right. It's like yes, now I know that it works because you don't like it.
Yeah,
that's how I know it's a success.
That's when you know they are the different promotion now. It's what they were originally. It's what they were in 2021, which many people consider their heyday at, in their first few years. And now it's exactly what they are again right now. And you really see it, how much people hate the idea of AEW from the WWE side when Mercedes walked in the door last night. Like, it gets nasty when that woman is involved, which is crazy to me. And it's ultimately because she picked them over WWE. That's just where it is. Ospreay did too. Okada too. And then they start to talk down these wrestlers, right? They're like, oh, you know what? She's actually not that good. She actually isn't, all that great. We're fine here. And it's like unbelievable. But it's also very believable because if you've been a wrestling fan for more than a year, you know how this goes.
It reminds me, I work in a high school. It reminds me of a very high school mentality from males in particular, where you've got a thing for a girl and she doesn't like you. She likes somebody else. And I'm going to use vernacular here. Your attitude is, well, fuck that bitch. She ugly. Like it's that whole mentality where you feel slighted. You feel like you've been done wrong, so your instinct is to lash back at them. No, it's their problem.
Right.
And that's kind of what, and it's weird that people do this with wrestling. It's weird when they do it for themselves, but it's super weird when fans do this for wrestling companies. Like, I see this, like Dave's a saint. Like, I've often joked that when I die and go to hell, I'm going to be stuck in Dave Meltzer's Twitter mentions for the rest of eternity. Like, that's what it is. Like, he's got so many people. You just so biased against AEW. I'm like, do you read or listen to a word this man writes? But the Eric Bischoffs of the world have convinced them of this. And then I read these things, and like just today, I say I'm gonna be better, but I'm not better. I'm a shallow person. I'm like, did you like? I retweeted someone. I'm like, did you know WWE fans are the most persecuted fans in the world? How do these people get through the day? Like, it's just. I'm astounded how these people they cheer. It's like people who cheer the Yankees, right? It's like you support the strongest product out there, and you act like the world is against you all the time. It's such a mind-boggling state of affairs that I have a hard time processing it.
Yeah, I think the Yankees comparison is very good. I'm from Boston area, so
So that works.
I'm definitely going to agree with you. But it is that like mentality of like us versus everyone. And it's just so lame. It's like,
oh God, yeah.
How are you a wrestling fan if like you just sit there the whole time and like you're just angry about everything? Like, I don't get it. Why are you a fan? Like, I hated not enjoying AEW at the end of last year. I know you did too. I listened to this show.
You could tell.
Yeah, like, it's not what we're here to do. We're here to praise the product because that's what we want to do, because we want to enjoy watching the show. It's why we spend 2 hours every Wednesday night watching Dynamite, right? And listen, I'm not telling any WWE fan to stop doing that on their own show. They have a lot more hours to watch. Take your time, and you have The Rock and all this stuff. If you can look past what's happening, go ahead.
More power to you.
But like, I'm not here to like, I'm not one that's gonna be like, oh, you're a WWE fan. Okada. I'm not gonna be the one that's like Okada picked AEW over WWE. That's not what I'm going to do either. I'm just happy that he's in the company that I want him to be in.
Yeah.
And I'm going to cheer for him, and I'm going to enjoy what he's doing. You know, like that's it at the end of the day. I don't care that he didn't end up in WWE. I care that he ended up here.
I'm super stoked they didn't end up in WWE. I thought I've seen way too many that go the other way. Like I just don't understand. Like I get it. It's sports fan mentality. Like I've seen this with over the years a lot. What I don't understand is like you talking about like being angry at your fandom. And I saw this from comics for a long time, and I see it here in wrestling. And like I don't understand hating your hobby. Like I'll never understand that. Like when I got upset with what was going on, and when I was reading a book, I was like, oh, I guess I'm just done with this. Or like when AEW, like when I stopped watching WWE, not because I got super angry.
It's a big Star Wars thing, isn't it? Like, don't Star Wars fans like famously hate Star Wars?
The thing, okay, let's talk Star Wars fans. Star Wars fans, it all depends on when you became a fan. Like, if you love the stuff that you love, that you grew up with. If you're my age, you love the original trilogy. If you're younger than me, you love the prequels, you know, and I guess there's people out there that like the sequel trilogy. But I mean, like, and anything that's outside of your purview is awful.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And like Star Wars fans are just like, they're weird because they like the same shit, but they hate the same shit, and they hate different parts of the same shit. Like it's an odd fan base.
Yeah.
Like wrestling fans, like comic fans and wrestling fans are very similar. Like where they'll just keep watching the thing that they hate.
Yeah.
And like we saw that with WWE before AEW came around, where so many people hate watch WWE and talked. And I couldn't be one of those guys. And I didn't leave WWE fandom for hatred. I left it because I was just ambivalent to it. I grew cold to it, and I just got tired of it. And I felt myself slip in there with AEW in 2023. I felt it coming for a long time. And I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for this show and with Mike, I probably would have stopped watching wrestling about month 8 of MJF.
Mm-hmm.
I got so over that. But again, I stuck with it because we got a pod. But I mean, like, this is the Mike and JD show because I got tired of Impact's bullshit. Like, I don't like to hate watch stuff.
Right.
I don't understand how people can just watch a product that they hate. And what I'll say is that since AEW has come, we see a lot less of that.
Yeah.
We see a lot less hate watching. We see a lot more people that are defending their product to the mountaintops and almost like refuse to accept any criticism on either side.
Yeah.
Right. WWE is like, you know, Jesus walks on water over there, and AEW, it's like, well, yes, this is where John the Baptist has christened people in the lake of Jacksonville. Like, it's like, you know, there's some room for some, like, you know, some general criticism and like, hey, this could be better in some spots, but I don't know, man. It's so, I almost find the examination of the fan bases is interesting, if not more interesting than what's going on in the ring sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I find it terrifying. If you go too deep, it's like, what is going on here? I think that's
what's going on.
And it's why I brought up Mercedes, because I remember vividly last year, right? When she didn't
I forgot Josiah's gonna be upset with me. Sorry, Josiah.
When Mercedes didn't show up in AEW right on that Los Angeles show. Because remember, that was like the big hype, like, oh, she's going to be on the show. She's going to be on the show. And then she wasn't. I remember seeing a lot of hate.
Tons. Tons.
Look where we are now. Right? It's just the reverse. And it's, you know.
Oh, dude, if the pretty girl rejects you, she's a bitch. But if she's on your arm, she's the greatest thing in the whole world.
See? And then someone like me, I technically won either way because she was in Japan last year and I was getting to watch that. So I won, you know, and I continue to win because I'm a fan of her.
Of wrestling. That's the thing that I never understand is that people, like, if you're like, I can't watch WWE because I'm having moral problems right now, and I've made it those feelings
very
abundantly clear. Like, I can't bring myself to do it.
Yeah.
Is the product better than it was 2 years ago? I can't deny that. I can't be a fan of it. I just can't do it. But when wrestling is good, wrestling is great. Like, I remember being a kid and when ECW was kind of good. It wasn't as good as I remember it was back then, actually. And when WCW is firing, and like when wrestling is fun, it's good to watch, right? All of it. It's good to imbibe stuff. Like the late 80s or the mid 80s is still one of my favorite times in pro wrestling because there's so much good stuff going on, right? So much cool things. And like we get there again, and like people fight about it. And it's just so awkward. So Scott,